All right. So thank you for being here. This is Momentum Kings Dream Board to a Million. What we're covering over here is we're talking to individuals about how they can scale their business. All right. So thank you for being here. This is Momentum Kings Dream Board to a Million. What we're covering over here is we're talking to individuals about. All right. So we're back. What we're going to be covering today is week 6, where we're talking about scaling your business with multiple products. Here's the really important thing is that a lot of the people that I'm speaking to, the audience that I'm trying to connect with, number one, is those entrepreneurs that really just haven't figured out what their process are. Maybe they're not in the right business and they haven't discovered that. And perhaps it's easier to go into a business that has a certain amount of, let's say, lack of volatility. There's people out there that just start up media agencies because they can build a website. There's people out there that start a fitness business because they're ripped and they believe that they have or would have influence. There's people that start up businesses every single day. And what's happening is individuals are just giving it a shot because they're tired of what? They're tired of working for a business owner that doesn't respect them, doesn't help them get to their next place. There's maybe a limited amount of increase in terms of payroll. Maybe they're trying to learn how to earn more money. So these are all a big deal inside of the reason why people get going and get started. Okay. Maybe this is you. So what I want to cover today is getting there with multiple products. Okay. I am going to use today, I am going to use a fitness industry person, right? I've seen a lot of them. I understand the process in terms of setting up this thing. And then I also understand the process of working out and doing the work related to recording the information so that people can look at it on any of the fitness apps, right? Fitness Bud, there is Trainerize, there's so many out there. You can also, in Go High Level, build yourself a custom app that'll do the same exact thing. So here's what's interesting. Okay. A lot of people are not even going to get to this point, but if they certainly do, then what's going to happen is they're going to be able to, if they take one day at a time and put these instances together and they start working towards a goal, then 9 times out of 10, as long as they're doing their list of what needs to happen today to get to tomorrow, they're going to get there 9 times out of 10. Okay. So we're going to overview um, the importance of diversification and product expansion in business growth related to fitness. Okay. There's so many different things that you could do. A lot of people are going to have an entry level fitness, intermediate level of fitness, and then an executive level of fitness, right? Perhaps they're training athletes. In addition to that, you might just have like a small little 6 week challenge or a 12-week challenge or something like that. You also might have a package that is a 3 month package. Or there was a gentleman, Danny Travis, who said, hey, somebody's just specifically looking for a specific body type. That's going to be an athletic body type, a bodybuilder type, or just a beach body type, right? So those are 3 different options there in themselves. So here's what's really important is that you start, if you're a brand new business owner and you have a good body and you're working the fitness angle, all you got to do is start somewhere, right? And if you start somewhere, then you'll get there. Imagine that, right? So I want you to think about that for a second and think about where you could, in fact, be if you just got started and started moving towards something instead of overthinking it, right? Which a lot of us can do. So in this situation, what I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk about a entry level package, an intermediate level package, and an advanced level package. So we want to identify the market gaps and opportunities for the product expansion. That's going to be first and foremost. We're going to identify those opportunities, right? So if we can look around, all right, I'm not as light as I would like to be. I'm not as shredded as I would like to be. I'm not as health conscious as I would like to be. So if I was to put myself in a category, I would say that would be potentially 95% of Americans at this particular moment. So you have an open uh, market gap of individuals that are not conscious of their health that need help if they want to solve this problem. So it really is going to depend on what your marketing strategy is and how you're working these angles in order for you to get to a place where you can get clients and they can believe in you. Okay. So think about this. You're going to conduct some market research to understand the customer needs and preferences. Well, I could tell you 15 people that are like me. And if you understand where we're coming from, and let's say I'm a tech and I'm in a busy episode of my life where I'm working as hard as I can, but some days I have more um, work at the end of my day than others. Well, do you think I made time to meal prep, or do you think I made time to do these things? Well, in my case, I'm working on that. But in other people's cases, they're just going to convenience and they're going to drive-throughs and they're doing everything that they shouldn't be doing in order to get them to a good place. Now, I've heard a lot of uh, people, their slogan has been like, you know, work out with me and you still can eat cheeseburgers or you can still blah blah blah. Well, yeah, when you're shredded and your body's eating up that stuff and you've got good muscle tone and your BMI is lower in terms of fat and it's higher in terms of muscle, well, yeah, your body's gonna hopefully, if you don't have some sort of assimilation issue, it's gonna burn fat. But for the 95 percenters who are not there yet, well, it's a hard road for people to get onto. So think about that for a sec. So you're going to have to go conduct market research and understand customer needs. Here's what you do. Take 10 of your friends, do that, ask those questions. If you can ask your wife, you can ask your friends that you have, you can ask your brothers, your sisters, your mom, hey, what's been your biggest struggle in this situation? Well, if you launch that idea and then you conduct your market research, I'm talking about simple research because we're not going to mess around. We're going to get started and we're going to go. Then you're going to go to the next development strategy. Okay. Your development strategy is I'm going to evaluate my existing products and make sure that either they're good, I'd say don't overthink it, or they're great, or they need work. All right. We can have that thing done in 1 week, right? So that's important. Strategies for developing new products, including product line extensions, variations, complementary offerings. Look, complementary offerings in the gym space is going to be huge because if you just say 1 week free or 2 weeks free or whatnot, that is a place that you can go to. Now, I'm working on my own business expansion, and what's going to be happening there is once I get to a place where I've scaled this particular business model that I have, I am going to go into the gym situation. I am going to create my own workout programs because I've been working out since I was a kid. I just don't use those tools. The biggest problem that I have here, and when I'm explaining this, is um, a lot of these gym guys, they don't know tech, so they can't get this thing off the ground. They say that they want to, but they can't get it off the ground because it's too expensive to build tech, or or I can't manage the process, or there's 1,000 other excuses. Well, because I've had so much of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it myself. I might not get yoked, but I'm going to give it my best shot. But once I get this other business process and scale my company, I'm going to go do it myself because I want to have more health. I want to have more. I'm a ripping chef. I know how to prep food. I know how to make sure that I'm eating the right things. Because if I prep in advance, do I have to go to McDonald's or do I have to go to any of those other places, Taco Bell, late night? No, negative. I don't. Right. So getting back to evaluating our existing products, we're just starting up. So we're going to go in and we're going to create these three products, and these three products are going to be done inside of maybe 48 hours. We're not going to overthink it. And then we're going to get to work on actually doing the work, which means we have to go do the exercise. If you're a trainerizer person, then you could take the easy road. I don't suggest it, but you can do it and just put workouts in there that aren't you. Well, people are fired up about your body, not the guy who's in there or the girl who's in there who is doing these things. They're fired up about you. Remember, your business is you as a representative, and that's it. So they're going to be less likely to commit to those workout strategies if it's not you. Just remember that. Okay. We're going to skip over strategies for developing new products. We're going to take the first three, and that's it. The only thing we're going to address here is the complementary. Complementary, why not do 5 or 6 different complementary scenarios that are arranged? One could be a month, one could be a week, one could be a 2-day trial, whatever it is, right? Think about Amazon for a second. How many different ways do they offer the same product in order to get people to try it, right? So let's say Amazon has a product that they're doing with so-and-so company. Well, after 5 months and they figure out the sourcing issues, then don't they sell their own Amazon product that's exactly the same as that one? This is the same scenario here, except for we're talking about complementary offerings. So what's the value you can bring to somebody free? You did it for yourself. You're not doing it for them. And then from there, you give those free weeks out, and then it allows for a conversation to get to the next place. Some of the best people in the business that I've seen do it, Clint Riggin and Chris Zizzo, in terms of the workout stuff. And although I've never gone through any of their programs, I see what their website looks like. I see what their process looks like. I see what their posting schedule looks like. I look at all these things and I go, well, if they can do it, the only difference between me or you or another workout person is we just don't have the tech in place, number one, and or in my case, I don't have the body yet. But anybody can do it. Okay. That's true. Right. And anybody can do it naturally. Not necessarily are all workout people natural. In fact, I got 2 business cards of people that are bodybuilder types, a man and a woman. I'm going to be connecting with them this week and basically showing them a build out of what's possible for them. And I hope to gain them as a client. And when I do, I'll have another example of a strategy that I built from my brain that's going to go out there and allow for people to win. All you have to do is plug into it. Okay. So portfolio management, balancing product diversity and coherence with your product portfolio. Part of this goes along with, the fact that you have to have a certain schedule. If you don't have a schedule and you don't have automatic instances where people can just go work out by themselves, you're going to have a problem. So while we're building the portfolio management, we've got to talk a little bit about when are you going to be working out? If it's pre-recorded, are you going to do some lives? Lives is just another way to connect with people and work out at the same time, and they can see you're doing the work, and therefore, maybe they want to run with you, right? I'm going to give you a good example. When I first joined Uncaged, free group, I didn't know much about it, but I knew a good bit about Zach Williams. He's a good dude. He does this stuff. And then when I watched that VIP grow, I realized how he was doing it. And this relates directly to the workout stuff. What I mean by that is if he started a certain amount of clientele, let's call it 50, and he's increased it over time to 150, well, he's doing something right. Right. So that's all you have to do, but you're doing this in the workout space, if that makes any sense. Okay. Now, techniques for managing product life cycles and making strategic decisions about product additions or retirements. So as you get better at this in the fitness industry, you're going to be taking a look at, hey, is my entry level thing working, or is my medium or advanced thing working, or do I need to kind of hedge it a little bit or change it a little bit? This is going to be an ongoing problem, month to month, year to year, decade to decade for you. But I want you to just not really take a look at the negative aspects of this right now. We're going to build this thing, you're going to scale it out, and you're just going to start talking to people. Later, there's an area in here that we're going to talk a little bit about marketing and how it should be done so that you can have more conversations and conversations that are going to get you to a different place. Okay. So next we're going to go over operational considerations. So scaling production, inventory management, supply chain, blah, 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 multiple products, right? I did this generalized, but I'm speaking to you guys from a fitness standpoint. So what's scaling production? Scaling production is doing reels, having a call to action, having a good website where you can capture that lead, getting them into your CRM. If they're not um, interacting with what they're doing in the CRM, then at one point you got to shake the trees and you got to give them a call again. So you got to have a sales process and operational consideration to get you to a place where you can have these conversations. I'm going to show you what it looks like. So let's say somebody comes off of a Facebook lead, Facebook ad, or a Facebook DM, or a Facebook comment, or they see your ripped or whatever. You're going to automatically engage them. Kyle Reed does this really well. Here's what he says. He says, or whip, post, and ghost. I'm going to love, like, or care on day one. On day two, I'm going to go comment on these individuals. On day three, I'm going to slide into the DMs and say, hey, I'd love to connect with you. I'm not selling anybody a thing. I'm just having a connection call. When you have that connection call, you're going to learn something about another person on the planet. You're going to have a talk with them and you're going to say, hey, look, you know what? Like, you came in off this post. What did you like about my post? They're going to tell you. So, hey, man, I like the way that you've been consistent. If I talk about Alan Davis right now, dude finished 75 hard. His body had a transformation. So if he had a workout guru who was showing him how to do that, well, congrats to that person. Because if you stick with this process, just like Alan stuck with his workouts, then 9 times out of 10, you're going to hear me say this, right? With a captain at the helm, you're going to get to the destination you're searching for. So stop messing around. It's not rocket science, right? All right. So streamlining operations, optimizing efficiencies to support product scalability. What it means is if you have a system and you're talking to people and you have a system in terms of how things work, right? Let's just use a regular line piece of paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is what I do. I go post, I go do a reel. I see people that read the reel. I go in there and connect with them in the DM, or I tag them or something like that. And then I go, hey, look, I'd love to connect with you. Cool. Then we're in the DM. And then when in the DM, you're having a conversation about, oh, what do you do? Well, I do this. Perfect. Hey, look, you know what? Let's get on a call. Let's talk about it. So next thing you know, you might have a customer right there, or you might have an idea of somebody who isn't ready yet that may need to go into your CRM and nurture them a little bit and go on to the next place. There's more money in the follow-up than there is in the sale of the initial calls. Way more money, like 10x, 20x. It really just depends. If somebody goes into a funnel and through a workflow, and then you start to what? Be friends with somebody like that, winning and influencing friends, the next thing that you're doing is they're going to come out of that funnel at one point, and they're going to come out of that workflow process at one point, and they're going to get to know, like, and trust you, which is then going to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I've been screwing my body over for like 12 months now. And finally, since I've been following you for a year, I feel like I'm convinced that you could help me do this. Boom, client. What happens if 10 of those people fall in at the same time? Boom, clients, right? So trust me, if your online business in the fitness space is lacking diversity or lacking strategy, it's time to really have a call with me so that I can show you exactly how um, everything becomes seamless and you have a process. Most people that don't have a process fail initially, right? I know a guy that had a restaurant that was open for 1 year. He's like, man, I call it quits because blah, blah, blah wasn't working out and I wasn't whatever. Well, it the food wasn't broken. The dude was doing a good job. Like you go in there and it was great food, but he was mismanaging labor. He was mismanaging process. He was mismanaging ad spend. He was mismanaging a whole bunch of stuff. He didn't have to quit, is my point. He just had to continue and learn and refine this process. And there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that don't want to. They just want to work for somebody the rest of their lives. And it's too scary to spend 10,000 or 20,000 or $30,000 on a thing, and they just won't do it. And that's cool, but stop being so broke-minded when it comes down to that. Because imagine this. Imagine I was trying to sell you on something, talk to you about something. I said, hey, look, man, I think you can do this thing, and here's what it's going to cost. Well, okay, cool. Man, I don't have that money right now. So everybody leaves that conversation for dead instead of negotiating. So imagine somebody came to me and said, hey, Adam, you know what? Like, all I got is about three or $4,000 to start up, and I'd like to bank payments on something like this to get my business to the place. Okay, well, it's a give and take. So here's what I'd say to you. Hey, look, yeah, we can work under those terms, but also because I'm doing this favor for you, I want to get 20% of the company. You're going to be good with that. It's a Hormozy thing. He's doing it a little bit differently, but he is going into businesses that aren't working and he's helping people expand, and then he's taking a percentage, right? So in that situation, that's what I would say to you. Negotiate. I'm not going to take the terms I don't want, but I know the terms that I would take. If that makes any sense for you. So customer experience and support. I remember talking to a couple workout fitness guys that had a tough time doing follow-up. Just imagine this. Imagine you have 100 clients in the Trainerizer app, and some of that stuff's going to be automated, but some of the stuff isn't. You're text messaging 24/7, right? So imagine that you did it a little bit differently and you were able to install some sort of AI support for yourself that has questions and answers that only you would answer in a certain way, and then it can convey those pieces of information. Still, at the end of the day, you got to take 15 minutes to make sure that everything, all the communication went the way you wanted it to, because somebody may have a question, want to get on a call or whatnot. But let this technology do the work there for you, and then make sure that you're connecting with the entire conversation, which will take you about a minute and a half, and then say, oh, you know what, this person, I need to reach out to him. And then you just do a manual, hey, look, I wanted to reach out. I saw our conversation earlier was important. I was a little departed, but now I'm on track with what you meant, and I'd like to connect with you so that we can go over that. It's just a time-saving strategy. And if you're valiant or enough or bold enough, you can just say, hey, look, you know what? I was on a call. I had some stuff that I was doing, and I essentially needed to get this thing done. And so I have an AI chatbot. Guess what? And now I connected with you because it's really important that I talk to you. Next, cross promotion, bundling strategies, increase sales, maximize rev. So you're going to find out what's your best product, and then you're going to, let's say that's your mid-tier scenario. Well, create a product that's mid-tier that's just a little bit better. And if you can create that mid-tier just a little bit better scenario, then that's a W right there, right? So think about that for a sec. That is a big win. And if you can figure that out, um, it'll help you get to the place that you need to, right? So there's a lot of important things that I said here that are really important to go and knock out. Now, if you don't knock those things out, um, that's kind of on you. But if you take these things one by one, um, then you'll certainly get to the place that is going to help you, grow. And we all need to get there. It's 100% true. We all need to get there. Now, if you're not doing it, all right, cool. Maybe that's not something that is going to work for you. and you're just going to fold up. You can't do it, right? There's a thousand other excuses you can give yourself to get to the place. Um, Now, I would like to say that you can do this, that you can get there, that you can get to the place that is going to help you earn more money, have a better lifestyle, and do the things that you're looking to do. Okay. I would like to say that that's true. So if it's not, look, just jump out of this conversation. Don't even listen to what I have to say. My mouthpiece is not important. If you don't feel like you want to get to a place where you can hang out with your kids, go to dinners whenever you want to, go travel whenever you want to, and hang out with your person, right? If that's not for you, then say bye. I'm good with it. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about customer support, and we're going to go into that, and then we're going to talk about scaling success, and then I'm basically just going to open this thing up for any questions. So, how do I ensure a seamless customer experience? Well, shit, I have to know the SOPs, right? I had to write my list, and when I'm working with somebody in a live capacity, maybe I got to have this cheat sheet out about how things are supposed to go. And as I'm working this, I always have to keep that in my mind. If I don't do that, then hey, look, you know what? It'll never become mastery. You'll never get master this process because you're trying to wing it, and winging it doesn't get the job done, but following a process gets the job done. So seamless customer experience. We can't let somebody's question go 3 to 5 days. That's why we got an AI chatbot. We need to and if it's intelligent enough, and it might be in the second or third month, it'll answer every question that you want, and they won't have any questions. But you're going to have to nurture those conversations and review them, and then put the question and answer scenario into your chat GPT bot or conversational AI or whatever it is that you're using, right? So provide exceptional customer support and address feedback and continuous improvement. It means we're just trying to get better every single day. We're trying to answer the questions truthfully and honestly. And then if somebody has some feedback, we're going to be open to that feedback, and we're going to truly consider it. And then we're going to move forward, right? That's going to create a customer for a lifetime or a longer life cycle. Okay. Now, here's some real world examples of business that have scaled multiple products. I have a friend who is a new friend for me, but he's been a friend of my brother for a long time. He owns a company called Crazy Pita. Crazy Pita is scaling right now. In fact, they're working on a process that could scale the restaurants across the entire United States. Well, at one point, he had one restaurant, and 18 years later, he's got 7 to 8 restaurants and other satellite operations. So now he wants to go to 4 to 500. Guaranteed he'll get there because he has a plan for that, right? So if you stick to your plan, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be ups and downs and roller coasters and the whole deal of an entrepreneur, the things that you have to go through. But in addition to that, you'll get to a place where that will no longer be an issue at one point. It'll be new issues and new scalability problems and new products that you have to worry about. So what I want you to do outside of that is to analyze the strategies and tactics that are employed by different business owners. Go talk to people. Tony Robbins is very popular. Why? Because he asked business owners a whole bunch of questions about what problems they faced. So he became a world-renowned individual based on that concept. So what I'm going to do here is just keep this open for any questions that may come out. What you can do is in the area where YouTube is, or in the group Facebook. You can ask your questions. I'm going to go ahead and answer those a little bit later. But you know, jump in there, ask any question you want. And if you're really serious about scaling a business, then let's get on a call and figure out, what it is that you want to accomplish. If you're not in that place, then hey, I'll leave you alone about it. But the reality is that you could be in a place where your life is different, where things are good for you, where your schedule's on your terms. And if you're not there yet, let's connect anyway, and let's just have a conversation about what that looks like for you. Okay? So I look forward to talking to you. I'm going to repost this so that you guys can watch it from the beginning. And I hope you do good things in your life. And I hope that you start your business today if you haven't started it. Let's just keep going.